Okay, from gold in the Pilbara, we're going to go to hear about a lead zinc silver mine, Galena Mining, and their CEO, Ed Turner.
Thank you. All right, Galena Mining is a new company. We only listed on the ASX last September. We raised $6 million at IPO. A quick corporate overview. Since then, we've actually raised another $9 million last week, or $8.5 million after costs. So we currently have 336 million shares on issue. Board management has about 40% of that, so we've got a lot of skin in the game there. The current share price, our market cap is $57 million, and we have more than $10 million in the bank. So that's helping us go straight into the PFS. We own the Abra lead, silver, copper gold deposit in Western Australia, 100% owned. It's in a granted mining lease. We recently proved up a world-class resource of 11.2 million tonnes at 10% lead, 28 grams per tonne silver there. That's within a much larger resource of 36.6 million tonnes at 7.3. Easy processing based on historic metallurgical test work. We're getting 95% recovery and producing a high-grade concentrate of about 65%. That might go as high as 70%. We're doing some more met test work right now. Infrastructure is good. You'll see in a moment when I show you the map where it is. We're already into the PFS. That'll be completed around September, so second half of the year, and then hopefully we'll go straight into the BFS. All off-takers still available, but basically we're targeting a high-grade, high-margin deposit. You can see there, location in the Midwest Gascoyne area. Up there north of De Grosser, about 100 kilometres from De Grosser. The access to the port of Geraldton is quite simple, all gazetted roads, and lead concentrate's been exported out of Geraldton for more than 20 years, so that makes it easy for us to potentially get into production easier and exporting. The resource I just mentioned, this is a three-dimensional model looking from the west. Oh, done it again. Basically, we have two main zones. This larger feeder zone is vein-hosted lead mineralisation, steeply dipping, intersects this stratigraphic horizon, or horizons at the top there, and mineralisation floods out in a disseminated manner within that as well. So that shows, both of those colours there show more than 5% lead, all of the lodes stacked together. We have more than 46,000 metres of diamond core drilling into this deposit right now, so we have a very good understanding. You can see the historic drill holes there intersecting the deposit. There is some high-grade copper and gold at depth. We don't have a resource on that right now because it's way down here, and it's a bit hard to target those zones with surface drilling. Or we can do it, but it's very expensive for that. It's like 700-metre drill holes. So we'll drill that out in the future from underground. Just a representative cross-section going through the middle of the deposit, just to give you an idea of the scale. So there's 400 metres across. That's the stratabound zone I mentioned at the top there. Everything in red is 5 to 8%, and pink is plus 8%. So you get some multiple zones, 30, 40 metres true thickness sometimes, several hundred metres high, and they extend east-west direction several hundred metres as well, or up to 500 metres with some of these veins. So there's multiple zones. There's a lot of medium grade lead in between the high grade as well. So that de-risks the deposit quite a lot. And once we pay back the capital, we could be looking at mining the sort of 5% to 8% dirt. Initially, we were targeting the high grade. Just to put it into perspective, 10 million tonnes at 10% lead is equivalent to about 2 million ounces of 6 gram per tonne gold. So there's not many gold mines even producing at that grade in Australia right now. So this will be the highest grade lead deposit in Australia and one of the highest ones in the world. Now, if you step 300 metres to the west, you'll see the vein density drops away. This is on the western edge of the deposit, just to give you an example, but you've still got this continuous apron mineralisation over a large area. So that once again de-risks the deposit, because everywhere you drill within that apron, you'll intersect high-grade mineralisation. It's still not closed off. Over 1.5 kilometres, 1.4 kilometres to the west, Hyperion, we've once again intersected the apron mineralisation. So, and these are the only 2 drill holes there. Nothing's been drilled in between. Once again, you're getting around 9-10% lead, and so we have to do some infill drilling there and follow up on Hyperion there. So, clear pathway to production. We're already into the PFS. We've commenced engineering, metallurgical, mine studies, hydrogeology, environmental studies are all underway. Scheduled to complete around September this year. We'll go straight into the BFS. From there, we've got enough money to complete the BFS or get a large way into the BFS without raising more funds. Then we're looking at where offtake financing in 2019 and potentially commencing the decline. We can do that in tandem with the BFS because we already have the granted mining lease, and that will save a lot of time getting to full production down the track. So we're looking at 2020 into production, construction and production, and by early 2021 we'll be producing quite a lot of ore. Now, if you're not across lead, this is a longer term metal price. You can see GFC was a bit of a disaster for the lead market for the last 6 years, but it's been a constant improvement in the lead price. And right now, the spot price of today is just over $3,000 Australian per tonne, and the long-term forecasts are very robust. And supply is down. Treatment costs in China right now are approaching zero because of the lack of lead sulfate, lead concentrate. So all things looking good there. So in summary, we own 100% of this deposit. World-class deposit. I mentioned 11 million tonnes at 10% is very high grade. There's a very high margin on that, but it's within a much larger, still high grade, 7% is still high grade, 36 million tonnes. We're going as fast as we can to get this into production. We're well financed. It's a very high grade, so high margin deposit, low capital expenditure. We're aiming at up to sort of 1 million tonne production, 1 million tonne per annum production, rather than something unrealistic like some of the previous companies we're looking at. Civil processing, crush, grind, float to produce a 65 to 70% concentrate, 95% recovery, 95% payability with lead, which is important when you compare it with nickel and zinc. You don't get those sorts of payabilities from the smelter. Established infrastructure. Gerald Port, as I mentioned, been exporting lead concentrate for more than 20 years. All offtake is currently available. And that's about it. Thank you.